JBN, we keep you informed. Alleged knife wielder shot dead by licensed firearm holder in Halfway Tree. A man was fatally shot by a licensed firearm holder in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew on Monday, November 25. Dead is 31-year-old Kareem Brown of Charles Birth Crescent, St. Andrew. Reports from the Halfway Tree police are that about 1:15 p.m., Brown allegedly attacked the licensed firearm holder with a knife and was subsequently shot. The police were summoned, and on their arrival, Brown was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Police investigations continue into the incident. 13-year-old Clarendon schoolgirl shot in bed, father arrested. A Clarendon man has been arrested after his 13-year-old daughter was shot and injured in the southern Clarendon community of Ransbury on Sunday night. Details surrounding the incident are sketchy. However, it is understood that the girl was in bed when she was shot. She has since been admitted to the hospital. It is reported that the weapon that was used to shoot the girl was illegal. Illegal gun and ammunition seized in Waterford, St. Catherine. Officers assigned to the Portmore police station seized a gun and several rounds of ammunition on Palmetto North in Waterford, St. Catherine on Monday night. The police report that about 9:30 a.m., a premises was searched and one Taurus 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 16 9mm rounds of ammunition was found along the perimeter wall. No one was arrested in connection with the find. 56-year-old farmer shot dead in Manchester. A farmer was shot dead last night at his home. He has been identified as 56-year-old Bentley Watt, otherwise called Jabba, of Zinc Shop district in the parish. Police reports that shortly after 8 p.m., residents heard loud explosions and alerted the police. On their arrival, Watt was seen suffering from a gunshot wound to his upper body. He was taken to the hospital and pronounced dead on arrival. The latest incident follows last Sunday's murder of a bartender at a bar at Comfort Hall in the parish. She has been identified as 20-year-old Tashin Morris, otherwise called Tash. Police say that shortly before 7 p.m. on Sunday, residents heard loud explosions and alerted the police. On their arrival, Morris was seen inside the business establishment suffering from a gunshot wound to the upper body. She was taken to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. Student charged with raping 13-year-old. The grade 10 student who allegedly raped a 13-year-old girl to St. Catherine School 2 weeks ago was arrested and charged on the weekend. A source has confirmed that the boy was arrested on Friday and slapped with rape charges. He was, however, given bail and handed over in the custody of his father. He is scheduled to make a court appearance on Wednesday, December 18. The girl's mother said that she is relieved that the teen suspect was suspended from the institution and was charged with the incident. It is not just for my daughter alone, but I'm fighting for other little girls who may have had a similar experience and who may be ashamed to say anything or are bullied into not speaking. I am hoping that justice will be served. My little girl didn't deserve this. A school is supposed to be safe for her children, she said. The girl was allegedly raped in the restroom after she refused to hand over $50 to the male student to use the facilities. When his demands were not met, he reportedly held her by the throat and braced her against a wall, where he later assaulted her. Holness says Pembroke Hall teacher needs support. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the Pembroke Hall teacher caught on camera threatening a student with violence is in need of support, and the Education Ministry is seeking to deliver that assistance. At the same time, the Prime Minister said the St. Andrew-based school needs intervention. There have been intense public reactions to the incident after a video went viral in which a teacher threatened to harm the child. However, speaking yesterday morning on nationwide radio, Holness said the teacher's behavior cannot be condoned. What I see is a lot of compromise, said Holness, noting that while he was sympathetic to the conditions in which teachers work, they have to accept that they are the ultimate in the system. It starts with them and it ends with them, Holness said. The teacher is now on leave while an investigation is being carried out. JLP says no to Kimbron Lawrence's candidacy for Parliament. The Jamaica Labour Party JLP has declared that Kimbron Lawrence, councillor for the Brownstone Division in the St. Ann Municipal Corporation, will not be its candidate in the constituency of St. Ann Northwest in the next general election. Several JLP supporters in the constituency on Monday voiced their support for Brown Lawrence to be selected the caretaker. JLP General Secretary Dr. Horace Chang dismissed that idea on Monday night, however, saying that the council will not be considered for the post. Brown Lawrence is among 5 persons charged in relation to the corruption probe at the Caribbean Maritime University. St. Ann Northwest has been without a JLP caretaker since the resignation of former Education Minister Royal Reid. The seat is being held by the People's National Party's Dr. Dayton Campbell. Don't trust Phillips. Montague lays into PNP president for busing scandals. Spurning the People's National Party's PNP suggestion that the government should call a general election, Jamaica Labour Party JLP Robert Montague launched a broadside against Dr. Peter Phillips, painting him as a leader who could not be trusted. Some people are in a desperate haste for elections. They're even trying to call it. But it's one man call elections, and he won't call it until the chairman of the party certifies that the party is 100% in shape. And we are not there yet. Montague declared at Sunday's 76th annual conference of the JLP at the National Arena. Accusing Phillips of poor judgment, the JLP chairman said that the PNP leader was misled when he sought a bus scandal on farm roads to be repaired in St. Thomas. Somebody thief a radar list that show all the farm roads in St. Thomas and the estimate to repair them. Them take the estimate to repair and so we spend the money already, said the St. Mary Western Member of Parliament. According to Montague, if $1.6 million was spent on the clearing of vegetation, no bushland left in St. Thomas nor even Portland, he added, poking fun at the People's National Party's claim last week of a rip-off of taxpayers' funds. How can a big man with a PhD, a doctor, have such poor judgment, he questioned. The JLP chairman chastised Phillips for challenging former PNP President Portia Simpson Miller for leadership, even after she gave him big position. We can't trust him. Half of his party delegates don't want him to lead them. If them not trust him, why should we? Them don't trust him for run them party, so we don't trust him for run Jamaica. Would you trust him with power? Montague questioned. Phillips eked out 2.7% more votes than the challenger Peter Bunting in a PNP leadership internal poll on September 7. Man pleads guilty to killing 16-year-old girl who ended relationship. A St. Elizabeth man who was accused of the murder of a 16-year-old girl 3 years ago has pleaded guilty to the lesser offense of manslaughter. Horatio Bruce, otherwise called Prenter of Malvern in the parish, appeared in the St. Elizabeth Circuit Court on Monday. Bruce was charged with the murder of Sharika Roberts of Newcombe Valley in St. Elizabeth. He is to be sentenced by presiding High Court Judge Justice Chester Stamp on December 6. Allegations are that on September 12, 2016, the teen was at home in Newcombe Valley when she was called out by Bruce. The teen reportedly told him their relationship was over, and during a subsequent argument, Bruce allegedly used a knife to stab her in the neck, chin, and left foot. The teen managed to tell members of her family the identity of her killer before she died. Following a probe by the police, Bruce was arrested and charged. More resources needed to fight escalating dengue crisis, says PNP. People's National Party PNP Shadow Minister of Health, Dr. Maurice Guy, is calling on government to immediately allocate more resources to hospitals across the island in order to adequately manage the escalating dengue crisis. According to Dr. Guy, 5 dengue deaths at the Bustamante Hospital for Children in a single month is alarming, and this must be seen in the broader context of 15 deaths at the facility in 22 months previously. This does not take into account the number of children who have died in the rural hospitals across the island, Dr. Guy said. He said sick children from different parts of the island are brought to Bustamante as a last resort, as rural hospitals are under severe pressure, and many patients make the long trek to Kingston to face even longer waiting periods. This situation requires proper and compassionate management to ensure that resources are utilized in the best possible and most effective ways. Public relations cannot save lives. How long will this government wait before more doctors and nurses as well as medication are put in place to prevent more of our children from dying? Jamaica has to do better than this, Dr. Guy said. He said it is clear that children and other vulnerable citizens face the highest risk of mortality with this disease, and therefore resources must be placed not only in the communities, but also in the health centers, hospitals, and in the labs where the confirmation of blood samples are done. The Shadow Minister said that Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton needs to stop playing politics and doing public relations with the lives of ordinary Jamaicans who have no option but to look to the government for help from their tax-paying dollars. Where private doctors can be brought into the public system to cut their long waiting periods, this must be done. As this crisis needs to be addressed now, the minister has clearly misplaced his priorities at this critical time, Dr. Guy said. Farmers reap success with mango exports to USA's Hutchinson. Minister with a portfolio in the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries, J.C. Hutchinson, says the export of mangoes to the United States earlier this year was a success for registered farmers. In an interview with GIS News, Hutchinson said, as a result, many farmers who had given up their orchards are now looking to put them back into production, so that by next year they'll be able to get certified and they'll get their crops going. Hutchinson added that during the crops season there were several farms in St. Thomas that were verified and certified, and so we exported from there. He further noted that there are about 6 or 7 farmers on the island who are certified to export their mangoes. Hutchinson encouraged farmers with an interest to export the fruit to contact the Rural Agricultural Development Authority (RADA). The agency will carry the farmers through the process as to how they can get certified. If they have orchards or if they have large acreage of land and they want to get into orchard production of mangoes or any other fruit crop, they can get in touch with RADA and they will guide them, the minister said. While the East Indian and Julie are the only mangoes being exported at this time, Hutchinson said that if demand grows for other mangoes. In 2014, the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, gave clearance to Jamaica to export mangoes to the country. However, this was subject to compliance with standards required by the USDA's Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service. As a result, the government has had to work with the nation's farmers to meet the necessary requirements. Mangoes exported this year were the first to the U.S. in 20 years. Exports resumed in June and stopped at the end of the crops season in late July. Once in season, export of mangoes to the U.S. takes place twice per week. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember, like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items. They'll also be considered.